Okay, so we're given a quadratic equation in standard form, and you're to find the roots. What's another name for roots of the equation? What the name? X-intercepts, good. So you found that x is equal to 3, okay, when you used quadratic formula, you guys have already done this, and x is equal to -2. So how many roots are there for this equation? 2. There's 2 roots, which means that it's going to intercept the x-axis twice. It has 2 x-intercepts. I'm going to graph this so you can just see what it looks like. Okay, so if you look at the graph, I just graphed this in Desmos, it intercepts at 3. Okay, you found that x equals 3 and x equals -2. So your answer was correct. So this one has 2 roots. Okay, so looking back at quadratic formula, I want you to just tell me what you had where it said b squared minus 4ac. So when you plugged in your a, b, and c, when you plugged in your values, what was the simplified number underneath the square root? What did you guys get? Okay, so you got a positive 25. You got a positive answer. Remember we talked about this. If you're finding the square root of a positive number, the square root of a positive number has how many answers, how many solutions? 2. So you found that the square root of 25 was positive 25 and -5. So you guys had to break this up into 2 answers, and you got 2 roots, right? Okay, what did you find was your solution? What were the roots of this equation? What did you guys get for this one? You got what?
3 and 3.
Okay, so you got x equals 3. You just got one answer, right? So you only found 1 root here. Now I want you to go back and look at again, we're going to look at the part that was under the square root. What was the number that you were finding the square root of? What happened when you plugged in all your values? And what did you get for the simplified answer here? What were you finding the square root of? Okay, b squared is -6. We'll do it together. Minus 4. What's a? And c is, what's -6 squared is? 9 times 4? Okay, what's 36 take away 36?
0.
What is the square root of 0? Is there such thing as a positive and a negative? The square root of 0 is 0, right? There's no such thing as a positive and a -0. There's no such thing as a negative nothing. So you're actually only getting one solution, because when you branch that off, square root of 0 is just 0. So you're adding nothing to your answer. So there's no such thing as a positive and then a negative. You're just going to get one answer, right? When we actually graphed the equation, the solution was x equals 3. There was only one solution, and if you look here, it's possible for a parabola to intercept the x-axis only once. Do you see how the parabola looks there? That only had one solution. Again, Dylan, because the square root of 0 is just 0. So there's only one solution. Okay? What did you get for the last one? b squared minus 4ac. b is -4. Squared minus 4 times a is 2 times c is 5. What is the answer? Okay. When we simplify this, we get -24. Now we have a negative number that you're supposed to square root. What happened when you tried to plug this in on your calculator? What happened when you punched in a negative number and then hit square root? It said error, right? Which means that there is no solution. We can't solve this. You can't find the square root of a negative number. It's impossible. So if there's no solution, that means that there are no roots, no x-intercepts, and it's possible. A parabola doesn't always have to hit the x-axis. It can be above it, it can be below it. There's no solution for this one. So when we graphed this, you can see, does it hit the x-axis anywhere? So it had no roots. It's possible that it can have no solution, okay? Does this hit the y-axis?
Yeah.
So it does have a y-intercept, but there are no x-intercepts. This part of the quadratic formula, just this part, is called the discriminant. And it tells you how many roots, right? Just this part of the quadratic formula tells you the roots. It tells you how many roots the parabola is going to have, how many x-intercepts.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.